Have you ever noticed, or maybe you've heard people say, that women just seem to have this special glow right after they get married? It's a pretty common idea, right? So where does that actually come from? Today, we're going to unpack the source material and see what's really behind the so-called post-marriage glow.
So what is the secret? Is there some magic formula that makes women look even more beautiful after marriage? Is it just an old wives' tale, or is there something real to it? Well, the source material we're looking at breaks this down into some really fascinating reasons. Let's start with the most obvious ones, the things you can see.
Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle is all about the outer transformation. We're talking about the things we can actually see with our own eyes. The source points to these really intentional and often beautiful changes in a woman's appearance and style that signal her new life chapter.
Now, the source is clear. This isn't just about general makeup that anyone might wear. It's about specific additions that are unique to being married in certain cultures. We're talking about things like sindoor, that red vermilion powder, the Mongol Sutra necklace, and other traditional jewelry, or abushan, as it's known in Hindi. These aren't just symbols. They're seen as things that actively enhance a woman's beauty.
And hey, it's not just about the jewelry. The source also points to a big shift in the wardrobe. You often see a move from more casual outfits like salwar suits to really elegant traditional clothes like a sari. This change in style is presented as a huge factor in creating a more, complete and radiant look. And this quote from the source really just nails it, doesn't it? These extra things that are added, they make them even more beautiful. It perfectly sums up this whole idea of an external transformation. But you know what? That's only half the story. Let's dive a little deeper and look at what's happening on the inside.
All right, so moving on from the outside in, the source brings up another really powerful factor, an inner transformation. And this part suggests the change isn't just skin deep. Nope, it comes from a really profound emotional shift that's all about the feeling of love.
So where does this inner glow start? Well, according to the source, it all begins with one simple thing, that new, deep emotional connection you form with a life partner. This unique bond is basically framed as the starting point, the catalyst for this entire internal change.
And you can actually see the chain reaction the source describes right here. It's like a set of dominoes. First, you have this new connection with a partner. That leads to a deep feeling of being loved. That love, in turn, creates this genuine inner happiness, which then, and this is the key part, physically shows up as that visible glow on the face. It's a pretty clear path from a feeling to a look.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. The source actually offers up a more, let's say, scientific explanation for this inner change. It suggests there's a real biological process happening that helps create this newfound radiance. The source uses this fantastic informal Hindi phrase, chemical locha. Now, literally, that might translate to something like a chemical mix-up, but here it's used in a fun, colloquial way. It's meant to describe those happy hormonal changes, that sort of good vibes chemical reaction that are believed to be triggered by all the love and joy of this new phase of life. So what happens because of this so-called chemical launcha? Well, the source directly connects these hormonal shifts to some very real, tangible effects. We're talking about noticeable improvements in skin quality, a more radiant glow, and even feeling more energetic and active overall.
All right, so we've looked at the outer stuff, the adornments, the clothes. And we've looked at the inner stuff, the feelings, the hormones. But what's the real secret? Let's pull all of these threads together and see the complete picture the source is painting for us.
When you lay it all out, it really comes down to two sides of the same beautiful coin, right? On one side, the external reasons. You've got the traditional jewelry and the new style of dress. And on the other side, the internal reasons. You've got that amazing feeling of being loved, the inner happiness it brings, and even those perceived hormonal changes.
And here it is, the big takeaway from the source material. The secret to that post-marriage glow isn't just one thing. It's not an either-or situation. It's presented as this really powerful combination, a synergy, you could say, between the outer traditions that enhance beauty and that inner joy that just radiates from within. So that leaves us with a really interesting question to think about. After digging into all these ideas, what do you think is the real secret to this kind of beauty? Is it more about what you put on the outside, the adornment, or is it truly all about the happiness that shines from the inside out? It's a fascinating thing to consider.